2011 Major League Soccer season. The 2011 Major League Soccer season was the 99th season of FIFA-sanctioned soccer, the 33rd with a national First Division league in the United States and Canada, and the 16th season of Major League Soccer. The season marked the arrival of two new league clubs, Portland Timbers and Vancouver Whitecaps FC, whose cities previously had clubs of similar nameplay in the USSF D2 Pro League. Those two new West Coast clubs led to a realignment of the league's conferences, with Houston Dynamo moving to the Eastern Conference to create two conferences of 9 teams each. Each team played a balanced 34-match regular season schedule, playing every team twice, once at home and once away. The regular season began on March 15, when the Los Angeles Galaxy defeated the Seattle Sounders FC 1-0 at Qwest Field, and concluded with the host Houston Dynamo defeating the Los Angeles Galaxy 3-1 on October 23 at Robertson Stadium. The season also featured the 2011 MLS All-Star Game on July 27, when Manchester United defeated the MLS All-Stars 4-0 at Red Bull Arena hosted by the New York Red Bulls. The 2011 MLS Cup Playoffs ran from October 26 until November 20, when the Los Angeles Galaxy claimed their third MLS championship by defeating Houston Dynamo 1-0 in MLS Cup 2011 at Home Depot Center in Carson, California. Changes from 2010. A number of structural changes were made prior to this season, involving both on and off the field aspects of the league. Structural changes. To accommodate the arrival of the two new franchises, the league expanded the number of regular season matches to 34 total games. The MLS Cup Playoffs expanded from 8 teams to 10. Beginning with this season, the best 3 teams from each conference receive guaranteed playoff spots. The 4 teams with the next best point totals will play one-match knockout games to determine the final participant for each conference. With the new playoff structure comes a new incentive for the MLS Supporters Shield winner, who will play the lowest-seeded team to qualify for the conference semifinals. Furthermore, the MLS Reserve Division returned. The rosters accordingly expanded to 30 players. Other minor changes included the shortening of the MLS Super Draft from 4 rounds down to 3, and the expansion of the number of guaranteed spots reserved for away supporters from 150 to 500. Roster rule changes. Team rosters were expanded to 30 players in order to accommodate the reintroduction of the MLS Reserve Division. Of these 30 players, 18-20 count against a club's salary cap of $2,675,000. Clubs may still have a maximum of 3 designated players per club, each of whom counts $335,000 for salary cap purposes. The transfer windows for acquisition of players under contract in another country run from January 21, April 15, and from July 15, August 14. Other key roster rule changes were the introduction of off-budget players who do not count against a club's salary cap, the ability of clubs to forego fielding a full roster of 30 players for salary reasons, the introduction of roster slots paid below last year's league minimum, the ability of the 2 Canadian clubs to count U.S. domestic players as domestic players for roster purposes, and the ability of clubs to buy out 1 guaranteed player contract during the off-season and free up the corresponding budget space. Managerial changes. Teams. 2 new expansion clubs entered the league, Portland Timbers and Vancouver Whitecaps FC. These clubs, alluding to their history, are the immediate successors to clubs that played in the USSF D2 Pro League in 2010, and before that the USL First Division. Both clubs also bear the names of members of the original North American Soccer League. Further, the Kansas City Wizards rebranded as Sporting Kansas City and moved into their new stadium at Livestrong Sporting Park in Kansas City, Kansas. Finally, with the arrival of two West Coast clubs, the Houston Dynamo transferred to the Eastern Conference. Stadiums and locations. Outzone Vancouver Whitecaps played home matches at Empire Field prior to moving into the newly renovated BC Place on October 2, 2011. Personnel and sponsoring. Both of the new teams to MLS received jersey sponsors, while several existing teams saw changes in jersey sponsorships for the 2011 season. Alaska Airlines signed on as the first MLS shirt sponsor for the Portland Timbers. Bell Canada became the first shirt sponsor for Vancouver Whitecaps FC in its MLS incarnation. Glidden declined to renew its jersey sponsorship of the Columbus Crew, which has not yet found a replacement. Greenstar are the new shirt sponsor for the Houston Dynamo, replacing Amigo Energy. Bimbo will serve as the first ever shirt sponsor for the Philadelphia Union. Chivas USA continued to be sponsored by Grupo Modelo, but this sponsorship is now through its Corona beer brand, as opposed to the extra convenience store brand as used in 2010. United Healthcare became the first ever kit sponsor for New England Revolution. Note: flags indicate national team as has been defined under FIFA eligibility rules. Players and managers may hold one or more non-FIFA nationalities. League standings. Overall table. Conference standings. Eastern Conference. Western Conference. Tiebreakers. Head-to-head points per match average. Overall goal differential. Overall total goals scored. Tiebreakers 1-3 applied only to matches on the road. Tiebreakers 1-3 applied only to matches at home. Fewest team disciplinary points in the league fair play table. Coin toss if more than two clubs are tied. Once a club advances through any step, the process reverts to tiebreaker 1 among the remaining tied clubs recursively until all ties are resolved. Results. For the second year in a row, the league uses a balanced schedule. Each team will play every other team twice, home and away, for a total of 34 games. Playoff bracket. Note: the LA Galaxy, as MLS Supporters Shield winners, were assured of playing the lower-seeded Wild Card Series winner New York Red Bulls in the conference semifinals, while Sporting Kansas City would play the higher-seeded Wild Card Series winner Colorado Rapids. Statistical leaders. Full article: MLS Golden Boot.